It's showtime.
So have you heard the news? Season 4 is a go.
It's getting dark.
Okay.
This is crazy. I'm seriously, I don't understand what's going on here. This is crazy. Am I supposed to read this or something?
Probably so.
What? What?
Surprise!
Are you kidding me?
Surprise!
Picked up? We are picked up. Family, here we go. Season 4. But it's getting dark. So if I'm gonna make it this season, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm going home. Season 4. I'll see you guys.
Yes. Season 4 is a go. Salute, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So when I saw that season 4 was a go, I was like, man, normally it's usually after maybe a week or two after the final episode. And I think it is because of the From community why they're announcing it so early. Sara the monster is going to do some monstrous stuff. That's one prediction I have. Will Fatima survive the pregnancy? We see in the trailer, Boyd has like a lantern and he's going underground. I'm assuming he goes down the latch. Maybe the kimono woman gets Fatima's baby and bails.
Once the baby is born, we all get to go home.
You need to decide right now who you are.
This place, it doesn't give. It takes.
Are you okay?
No, I don't think any of us are gonna be.
You said that you were gonna let this place break you. This place is one.
He probably confesses to Boyd and Donna that he knows where Fatima is, and this is for Fatima's own good. She's gonna give birth. And just the fact that they're going upstairs with Sara behind them, to me, that means that they're bringing in the big guns. That's him coming down, and somehow the cat's out the bag. He knows. They're going upstairs. He's coming downstairs. They're like, nah. No. That's Ellis right there looking angry. So we see Jade with the violin at the bottle tree. And then we also see Tabitha. And I think what's coming out based off of the trailer is maybe one of the ghoulish children. I think it's all about egging Boyd to cross the line that he doesn't want to cross. So this is Victor and Dad. Maybe that's where he buried Miranda.
It doesn't give.
It takes.
Takes.
Probably talking to Elgin, my guess. All right, this is all of the creatures. I'm guessing this may be a flashback of maybe when they first did the ceremony a long time ago. That's Randall. He's probably still plagued by the cicadas. That storyline's getting really old. This is Fatima giving birth. And I imagine that she's giving birth alone or giving birth with the kimono woman there. So that's Jade with the violin. He's playing that. And I think a missed opportunity for this season is Jade should have been playing the violin at Tien Chen Lu's funeral. At the end of every episode, they have like the violin and the piano playing. I think they should have done that for Tien Chen's funeral to make it more impactful. I got it. They wanted Jade to be a part of preparing her body for the funeral, but I think a missed opportunity was just being able to just hear him play the violin to that same theme. I'm going to play it right now in case you all don't know what I'm talking about. So I get it, they may have not had anybody there to play the piano, but he could have done that on the violin. That was a big missed opportunity, and I imagine that the sound that we're getting from the trailer, maybe that's what he plays, because I know it's not going to be Twinkle Twinkle Little Star like he played for Victor. It's probably going to be something different, but I imagine that the sound that's being played in the trailer, maybe that's what he plays. I mean, who knows? But he's definitely playing the violin at the faraway tree, and I believe the ghoulish children who poured their hope into the roots that created the faraway tree, they're coming out, and maybe they may say something or lead Jade and Tabitha somewhere else like they did with Tabitha and Julie. It's going to be something dealing with the ghoulish children, because I believe that when Abby told Boyd that this place feeds off hope, I think it's kind of said that when the ghoulish children were sacrificed, in my opinion, and they poured their hope into the roots that made the faraway tree, I think it affected all trees, and the forest is like the ghoulish children's forest. So Frumville, so the entity controls the weather, maybe controls the houses, and has impact on energy and different things. But I think the trees definitely belong to the ghoulish children. When we get to the part where Boyd and Sara are in the tent, if you rewatch that, and I'll play it, it's not really something moving the tent. It's actually you can hear sounds of trees and branches moving, and that's what's moving Boyd and Sara closer to the lighthouse. It's the actual forest moving, and the forest was moving that violently to move them. I believe the ghoulish children, they're one with the trees, one with nature, kind of like the children of the forest in Game of Thrones, and that's who comes out after Jade plays the violin.
You said that you were going to let this place break you. This place is won.
Yeah, so this place is already won. That Father Katri, whatever that really is, it has more insight than the actual Father Katri had. With these trailers, even though we see MGM Plus right there, some of these trailers are fan made. This looks really bad as far as CGI. This might be how they became the creatures. Maybe they were reborn. Father Katri mentioned the Book of 74, and when it comes to like all the biblical themes in the show, in the real world, when it comes to the Bible, you're like born again in order to enter into the kingdom of heaven, where I think this is them being born again to become immortal, and they become creatures. Because this looks really bad as far as CGI. Maybe the actual version will look better than this, but I imagine this is some type of maybe energy or something. And it looks like you can barely see it, but it looks like his hand is black, as if he emerged and was like, yes, it works. I'm immortal. I've done the thing I'm supposed to do as far as the ritual, and this is the energy that's going to make me immortal. But then it's starting to turn him into a creature maybe later on. So I'm assuming that this might be like the past. We're seeing a flashback of what happened and what turned the creatures into creatures, or it could be that Smiley is being recreated. I imagine it's probably them being created for the first time. I could be wrong though. This is Boyd going down there, and I believe he goes after Fatima gives birth. The kimono takes the baby down the hatch that was locked, and this is Boyd following with the firearm in hand. And again, this Boyd, I know he wants to be cavalier. He's trying to save the day, but if he's going down there by himself, he might not return. I don't think they're going to unalive him, but I don't think he's going to return with the firearm, knowing that the firearms have no effect on the creatures. He may go down there and maybe he might run into the man in yellow.
Thank you. This place is won.
Yeah, this place is won.
You never really had a chance, did you?
Martin told Boyd that the creatures that go into town at night are the tip of the spear. So when you think of that phrase, you're thinking, okay, there must be more powerful things in the forest. But if you imagine a spear, and let me show you the image of a spear so you all can kind of get the context I'm going with. What Martin is saying and what we have been kind of perceiving doesn't make sense. So the most dangerous part of a spear, ladies and gentlemen, is the tip. The tip of the spear is the most dangerous part of a spear. And so when I was in the military, the term tip of the spear meant the most dangerous part of a mission. So if the creatures are the tip of the spear or the most dangerous part, then the most dangerous thing out there are the creatures, which is probably keeping you from getting into the faraway tree to be able to go save the children, like the boy in white was saying. Just the fact that they're saying that they're the tip of the spear, there's more going on back here that you could hit somebody with the side of the spear and knock them out or whatever. But when it comes to a spear, this is the most deadliest part. For Martin to say they're the tip of the spear, that he's got to be saying that the creatures are the worst part of the forest. But the way he said it, it was like as if there's more things out there that are worse, because there's nightmares out there you couldn't even imagine. But nightmares are in dreams, which the music box monster was terrorizing people's dreams. So we saw the music box monster in people's dreams, and we also saw the worms become cicadas and hurt people in dreams, which the worms were in Martin. So I think that the same way that Boyd was having nightmares where the ballerina was dancing, made him twirl her around, and then like the worms were coming out of her mouth that was caused by the actual worms. And then the same way the music box monster was like in people's dreams. And I think the music box monster was kind of like a beacon that was gathering other creatures, but it was at a higher level as far as hierarchy. I think that what Martin experienced with the music box monster and the worms was the extent of what he has perceived as far as being evil. So I thought that was interesting as far as the tip of the spear, when the tip is the worst part, referring to the creatures. Now you see this part right here with the lights flashing. I'm believing that's Julie, because the camera pans over to it. That's Julie. They're having an actual positive interaction. Julie's not being a total douche. But the family came together when they were talking about digging. Okay, so that's Julie right there. Julie and Jim. They're kind of being playful, father and daughter, going down there. It is right here. I think that's Julie in the future trying to get their attention to prevent them from digging the hole. Or Morse code. Y'all see that? It's either Morse code or just trying to get their attention to stop digging. They're inside the tent. You notice that you don't see anything out here. Nothing out there. If it was a creature would have said something to them. If it was whatever was on top of the log cabin, it would have stepped on top of the tent. I think Martin, or maybe the writers, were hinting to us that when going out at nighttime, you're looking for a faraway tree, that's the most dangerous part of what you got to do in order to defeat them as far as the creatures and the evil, or to save the children, is you got to go out at nighttime. Which that would be the most dangerous part, is being out in the forest at nighttime looking for a faraway tree in the dark. The creatures can sprint, and they're faster than you. They're stronger than you. They can see in the dark. It's a bunch of them. It's almost a Mission Impossible scenario. I just want y'all to listen to this. This is Sarah waking up from her seizure.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Come on. There you go. There you go. Wasn't sure you'd wake up.
Where are we?
Don't worry. We're safe.
Is that...
Oh, yeah. I finally managed to get one down. And, this was inside.
What does it say?
1864.
Looking at the sheet of paper that Boyd's got, it just has 1864 written on it. So if it's musical notes, if this is supposed to be a musical note, it just wouldn't make sense. Old piece of paper maybe used when people were writing with those pens that had the feathers at the end of it. It would make more sense if these were like the numbers on houses as far as like a house address. But even just the idea of putting paper in bottles doesn't make any sense. I want you all to kind of listen to the sound that's being made, because it sounds like that the forest is moving, like nothing really grabbed the tent.
What is that?
I don't know.
What's happening?
I don't know.
What was moving them was the sound of branches. All right, y'all hear that? That's the branch.
What is that?
I don't know.
More branches.
What's happening?
I don't know.
These are branches, twigs. The forest is moving, and that's why it seems like they're being dragged. But they're not really being dragged. It's just that the ground and the trees and everything is shifting. Remember, Victor was telling Ethan that the forest is getting closer to the colony house. It's because there's a lot of shifting going on, and if you're out there at nighttime, you're gonna feel the shifting. And that's probably the reason why when Miranda was running, she was running towards the faraway tree with the bottles, but that's why she smashed up against the tree, not because it was dark, but because the ground was probably moving at the same time. They're not being dragged. The ground and the entire forest is moving and shifting. That's why you hear the sound of the branches. You can see it right here. From first viewing, it's like, oh, someone's dragging them. But no, the entire forest is moving and shifting. It's kind of a blink and you miss it type of situation. This is the rainbow parachute game. Boyd and Sara are basically right here. They're the little balls right here. If this is the forest, and the forest, instead of having children, it can move on its own, then what happens is while the forest is moving itself with the trees and stuff, and they're in the middle of the forest or in the forest in general, while the forest or the parachute is moving, they're going to be bouncing around. And that's the way it looks and sound. Like, not that someone's grabbing the tent and moving them, because if someone or something was physically grabbing the tent, you would see the camera point to the part where that's being grabbed. We don't see that. And the reason why we don't see that is because, just like with the rainbow parachute game, they are in a tent in the middle of the parachute or the middle of the forest. If you're in the middle like that and the whole thing is moving, you're gonna be bouncing around, and then you see images of the branches and the trees on the outside of the tent, and you hear the branches moving. Now, on the first watch, it seemed like maybe it was something climbing on the trees or something maybe physically grabbed the tent, but the camera doesn't pan over and show us anything as far as the tent being grabbed. And as far as anything being on the trees, I think if something was climbing on the trees, it would be a louder thump than that, but it just sounds like the branches are actually moving as if the ground is shifting. So I think it's more of a shifting of the ground that is equivalent to the parachute game. That's what we're kind of seeing and observing. They're being bounced around like they're on the parachute game. See, if something was grabbing them, you would see something actually grabbing the tent. See how they're being bounced around like they're on a parachute? And then it's over with. So the forest, right now I'm thinking that the ghoulish children, the forest, and to a certain extent even the faraway trees, they're actually good. They are good because of the energy from the children. The talisman stone had dropped. Nothing came inside of the tent. So we know it wasn't the creatures. And the creatures would have been talking if it was them. If it was what was outside of the cabin at the settlement, it would have been jumping on top of the tent. But that's the reason why Boyd's able to hang it back up and have no problems. Yeah, that talisman stone is not going to save you from what just dragged you.
Oh, come on, bucko.
Yeah, Boyd up there hanging a talisman stone.